the next 4 minutes, we are going to discover how AI is transforming the legal landscape for contract managers and lawyers. Join me and Spellbook executive Dan Wardle as we discuss why using open source tools like ChatGPT might not be the best choice for your legal needs, and how specialized AI solutions can tailor contract language to your specific jurisdiction and contract type. Let's get right into it. So there must be some kind of prompt engineering that's different though with Spellbook, because you don't necessarily get the same response if you just went onto ChatGPT and said, give me an indemnification clause. I think there seems to be a big difference. With Spellbook, it'll say, okay, well, here are like 5 indemnity clauses to choose from, and they'll be tailored for the jurisdiction that you're in and the type of contract that you're working on, like if it's a distribution contract, let's say. So can you explain to me, that added value? Because it doesn't seem to be quite, because some people might think, well, why don't I just use ChatGPT then?
Yeah,
And cut and paste it to Word.
exactly what you said there is, the one thing what we didn't want to do is we didn't want to help these models train themselves. And that's the risk with using some of these open source tools like ChatGPT or Anthropic or Gemini is everything you're putting in there is theirs. They can now ingest it. They can now keep it. And you can see that with the New York Times lawsuit and things that are going on with OpenAI. And so what we've made sure to do is that all of our data stays within ourselves and within our customers. So if you're using our tool, nothing's getting fed back publicly to these models. So what we had to do is we had to build a training model on top of it that, to your point, if you wanted to use ChatGPT the same way you're using us, you'd have to basically train it who you are, what you do, and then find all of the contracts in the world and train it on, like, I want it to be in this legal language. And so that's what we did, kind of this in between the LLMs and our user interface is us taking all of the contract databases we could find, so things like Edgar and Pacer and other global ones, and built it saying, not only do I want you to answer this question, I want you to answer this question based on me being Thomas, a professional legal professional, and with all of the context of these legal agreements in your context window, so that when you respond to me, if I'm working on a contract that is based in North America, I want it to be responding in legal language appropriate to that and to this contract type. But then maybe tomorrow I'm working on a UK contract or an Australian contract in plain language. Our tool then recognizes that that is what you have open and will give you suggestions and review red lines in plain language because we've trained it on the contracts from those regions of the world as well. So we're also taking those jurisdictional information into account, not only for the language, but also the laws. The other day I was dealing with a GDPR contract, and it recognized that the contract was based in the UK, which is no longer part of EMEA, so therefore it had a different, no longer part of the EU. So it had different language that it suggested, saying, actually, this language is only appropriate if you're using a company inside the EU. This company is based in London, therefore it needs to have this additional SEC. And so that's why you're seeing that difference between using open source models and using Spellbook, is we've basically prompt engineered a middle layer between your interface and the language models so that when you get the responses, it's coming back with appropriate language for the contract you're working on, the jurisdiction you're in, and what you're trying to do.
It looks like one of the best applications for AI is for legal document drafting tools. And I think that contract drafting is just the beginning. We learned how carefully engineered prompt layers deliver contract language smarter, faster, and region-specific, unlike generic AI responses. Spellbook engineered a middle layer of prompt engineering between your interface and the LLMs so that it looks at the jurisdiction and the context while keeping your private information away from the LLMs. They cannot use your documents for training, which maintains attorney-client privilege. I hope you enjoyed this short video. If you want to know more about this topic, you can subscribe and watch the full-length interview on the Executive Suite channel. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.